Want to sound like a native English speaker? The secret isn't just about grammar or vocabulary. It's about using the expressions Americans use every single day. In this lesson, we're going to transform your English in under an hour by mastering the essentials of American conversation. Forget boring textbooks. We're diving straight into real-life English. First, let's talk about greetings in daily chat. You've probably learned "How are you?" But in the US, you'll more often hear "How's it going?" or just a casual "What's up?" And what if you make a small mistake? Instead of a formal "I apologize," a simple "My bad" is super common and sounds much more natural. We'll cover 50 of these essential phrases that will instantly make you fit in. Next, let's unlock the power of idioms to describe people. Ever heard someone called a social butterfly? That's someone who loves being around people and flits from one conversation to another, just like a butterfly. Or maybe you know a creature of habit, someone who sticks to the same routine every day. We'll break down 25 of these personality idioms with clear examples, so you can start using them to describe your friends, family, and even yourself. Now for some quick but crucial grammar. Do you sleep in the bed or on the bed? Both are correct, but they mean different things. In the bed means you're under the covers, ready to sleep. On the bed just means you're sitting or lying on top of the covers. Small differences like this are key to sounding fluent, and we'll clear up several of these common points of confusion. To really sound like a native, you need to connect your words. This is called sound linking. For example, instead of saying "head out," Americans often say "head out," or "stop by" becomes "stow by." This is why spoken English can sound so fast. We'll practice these linking sounds together, so you can not only understand fast speakers but also start speaking more smoothly yourself. Let's put it all into practice with some real-world scenarios. Imagine you're at the grocery store. You're not just buying food. You might pick up some milk, grab a snack, or stock up on essentials for the week. And what about chores at home? You might take out the trash, do the dishes, or tidy up your room. We'll go through common phrasal verbs related to everyday life, like head out, meaning to leave, or stop by, meaning to make a quick visit. By the end of this lesson, you'll have a complete toolkit of phrases, idioms, and pronunciation skills to navigate daily American conversations with confidence. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more lessons.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we have a very specific mission. We are basically providing a shortcut, a serious shortcut, to sounding genuinely fluent in American English. We're trying to move beyond that textbook correctness and get right into the linguistic fast lane.
Right.
Focusing on those conversational patterns, the vocabulary, and maybe most importantly, the pronunciation hacks that really help you understand fast speech.
That's exactly it. This isn't about, just memorizing lists of words. It's about fluency optimization. We've pulled together this huge collection, over 50 high-frequency phrases and rules.
Wow.
But the real value, I think, is in understanding the subtle context. Why do natives drop words? Why does one tiny preposition change everything? We're going to give you phrases that feel, maybe a little intimidating now, but they'll sound completely natural by the end of this.
I really appreciate that focus on actionability. We're essentially giving you the cheat sheet to an informal American conversation. So let's unpack this. We'll start with the absolutely essential social scripts, how you greet people, make plans, and say thank you without sounding like a robot.
Okay.
Then we'll dive into the necessary diplomacy of handling opinions and apologies.
A very important skill.
And finally, we'll explore the wonderful color-coded world of personality idioms.
Let's jump right into the social fray.
All right, so the first rule of sounding native is just abandoning the textbook, "How are you?" You have to. We need to adopt "How's it going?" pretty much immediately. But the crucial detail here is the delivery. It's not just a change of words, it's a change of sound.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If you actually say, "How is it going?" and you articulate every word, you're kind of fighting the natural rhythm of the speech.
Right.
Natives will fuse those sounds together. That T in it just vanishes or becomes this quick tap, and the whole thing rushes together to sound like, "How's it sit?"
How's it sit?
Yeah. And if you can't hear and then replicate that fusion, you're always going to feel a step behind in a real conversation.
I think the challenge for a learner is that it just feels messy. You're taught to enunciate everything, and suddenly the goal is to, well, unenunciate key sounds.
It is, but that's how we signal speed and, ease. Another big one is long time no see. We use this when there's been a noticeable gap. And crucially, natives often follow this up with a quick, almost throwaway explanation like, long time no see, I've been totally buried at work this month.
And for that high-level check-in, what have you been up to?
Oh, that's a classic. It's just a really casual, warm way to ask, what have you been doing? But it's phrased so much more conversationally.
And let's highlight that core feature we mentioned, that subject-verb drop. We don't say the full sentence, it is nice to see you again.
No.
We just cut the fluff, nice to see you again. Or, great idea, it's just an efficiency hack.
It is pure efficiency. Now, moving on from greetings, let's talk about the language of making plans. We rely so heavily on phrasal verbs, and you just have to master them to socialize naturally.
Like using hang out.
Precisely. Do you want to hang out? Just means, do you want to spend time together socially? If you want to include a group, you use let's get together.
You would never say let's assemble.
People would look at you very strangely.
Yeah. And here's a verb that gets, I think, truly overused, but in a good way. Grab.
Yes. How about we grab coffee? Let's grab lunch. Want to grab a bite?
Yeah.
We use grab as this super informal replacement for get or have.
And it implies something quick, right?
Totally. It sets the expectation we are not planning a 3-hour dinner. We're just quickly grabbing a taco.
Okay, so if someone says, let's grab a drink next Tuesday, and I accept, how do I follow up the day before without sounding, anxious or too formal?
You use the perfect low-stakes phrase, are we still on for tonight? It's just a fast, simple check-in.
Are we still on? I like that.
It confirms the plans are still happening. It's concise, it's polite, it's perfect.
That is a huge piece of social context. Okay, finally, gratitude. We have to move past just saying thank you. What conveys real enthusiasm?
So if you are deeply thankful, the strongest form is, I can't thank you enough. That signals profound appreciation. But for just everyday enthusiasm, you need those short personal phrases, you're the best, and you rock.
And we absolutely have to highlight the structural warning here. When you're telling someone they're wonderful, you have to say, you rock. Rock is a verb.
Yes. Do not, under any circumstances, say, you are rock. That changes the whole meaning, and it just sounds, it sounds completely unnatural.
Like that tiny difference is the boundary.
It is. Subtle, but essential.
All right, knowing how to ask for and give opinions diplomatically is so vital. Let's start with how to ask for preferences.
Okay, so when you're gauging interest in an idea, you use, how does that sound to you? But this requires a bit of grammar awareness.
How so?
You have to follow it with either a gerund like, how does going to the concert sound? Or a noun, how does the concert sound? You can't just use a simple infinitive verb.
I see. That's a common stumbling block, I think, knowing when to default to that gerund structure. What about for comparing things, like finding out which type of thing someone likes more?
That's where you use the high utility structure. Are you more of a noun person or a noun person?
Oh, yeah.
Are you a coffee person or a tea person? An early bird or a night owl? It just quickly categorizes their preference.
And then for a direct choice.
Would you rather base verb or base verb? Would you rather stay in or go out? Simple.
Okay, so when it's my turn to give an opinion, how do I soften it or signal that I'm about to be, maybe a little too honest?
We preface opinions with these conversational markers, honestly, or to be honest. That sets the stage that you might be about to say something frank.
And if you need to express dislike politely?
The go-to softening phrase is, I'm not a big fan of it.
That's so important. You're not saying I hate it.
Exactly. You're just communicating a lack of enthusiasm. And again, this needs a noun or a gerund after fan of. I'm not a big fan of dancing. Or that movie.
Okay, what if a friend is struggling to decide between two options and I genuinely don't care which one they pick?
That is the perfect moment for it's totally your call.
Right.
It just unequivocally shifts the decision-making right over to them. It's so essential for avoiding friction.
But what if I disagree with their decision, but I understand why they made it? How do I get that across? Empathy without endorsement.
You use the brilliant phrase, I get where you're coming from. It means, I understand your perspective, but it doesn't require you to agree with their conclusion.
It's pure conversational diplomacy.
Totally.
Okay, let's switch gears to apologies. When you make a minor mistake in a fast-paced conversation, you need an equally fast apology.
The standard is often reduced. Just sorry about that, often dropping the I'm. But the most casual high-speed one is My bad.
My bad.
It's incredibly quick, but you really need to understand its limits.
I was going to ask, is my bad okay in like a professional setting? If I miss a huge deadline at work, can I just say my bad?
Absolutely not. No. My bad is for things like bumping into someone, accidentally interrupting, forgetting a water bottle.
Minor things.
Very minor, forgivable things. If you cause serious damage or offense, you get a full apology.
And speaking of serious errors, what if the mistake requires you to fix something?
Then you need the crucial commitment phrase, I'll make it up to you. This tells the person you're actually committing to fixing the error, not just saying sorry. Like if you spill wine on your host's new white sofa, a quick my bad is not going to cut it.
No.
You need to say, I'm so sorry, I'll make it up to you, I'll pay for the cleaning immediately. Shows active accountability.
This segment is where we can really inject some color into your vocabulary. We've got these 25 personality idioms, and they're like currency in social settings. They say so much so quickly.
And you have to remember the rule. Always use the article A.
Right. Let's start with the positive types. The naturally social person.
That's a people person. Simple, direct. If someone is sharp and witty, they're a smart cookie. It's just friendlier than saying intelligent.
My favorite is a go-getter. I hear that constantly in business.
Yeah, a go-getter is ambitious, takes initiative, doesn't wait to be told what to do. They go and get things done. It's a huge compliment.
Okay, let's move to the descriptors that are a little more nuanced, maybe even challenging. What about the person who is honest to a fault?
They are a straight shooter. Now, this is generally positive. It means they're direct. You know where you stand.
Yeah.
But yeah, sometimes their honesty can sting a little.
And the opposite of a go-getter, maybe. The person who just refuses to evolve.
That person is set in their ways. They resist change, new ideas. We might say, my uncle is really set in his ways. He refuses to learn how to stream music.
Okay, let's talk social dynamics. Who's the person you kind of dread inviting to a party?
Oh, that's a wet blanket.
Oh, wet
They
blankets.
dampen the mood. They kill the fun. If everyone's having a great time and one person just keeps complaining, they're being a wet blanket.
That's such a great visual. And what about that unpredictable coworker? The one who might just accidentally blow up a project?
They're a loose cannon. Unpredictable, a bit unstable, and capable of causing a lot of unintentional trouble.
Yeah.
You definitely want to avoid depending on a loose cannon.
Okay, let's focus on behavior. We all know the person whose main hobby is just sitting.
The couch potato. Lazy or inactive, spends most of their time watching TV.
And the person who knows a little too much about everyone else's life.
That's a busybody. They're overly interested in other people's private business. And you should know, this is a negative descriptor. It implies meddling.
A much more colorful one is a bull in a china shop. We should probably clarify that one.
Yes, the china here means delicate porcelain. So a bowl, which is huge and clumsy, in a shop full of fragile plates. It's a disaster.
Right.
So the idiom describes someone who is clumsy, careless, or just tactless in a delicate situation.
And finally, what about the person who comes out of nowhere and surprises everyone with their success?
They're a dark horse. They weren't well known, not expected to win, but they had this hidden potential to succeed.
That's a good one for a difficult problem, too.
It is, and that leads to our last one, a tough nut to crack. While it can describe a problem, it also describes a person who's just difficult to understand or deal with. Maybe they won't open up emotionally.
You have to work hard to get through to them.
Exactly.
Okay, we've learned the words. Now let's get into the mechanics of sounding quick and native. We have to internalize how natives link and reduce sounds. Let's take the idiom, keep your eyes peeled for the street.
Okay. In fast speech, your eyes links together, and it sounds almost like one word, rise.
Keep your eyes, rise.
And then the preposition for is almost completely reduced. It just becomes fur, or sometimes just an sound. So if you try to enunciate every syllable, you won't even recognize keep your eyes peeled for the street when a native says it.
That linking is a massive hurdle. Okay, another high utility word we have to start using is walkable.
Oh, it's crucial, especially if we're talking about cities or travel. It just means an area is close enough to comfortably walk to. Is this neighborhood walkable? Is a super common question.
And let's try to eliminate the overuse of the verb go. We need a smoother way to talk about leaving.
Yes, use the phrasal verb to head out. It just means to leave a place or start a journey. I think I'm going to head out now. It's so much more natural than I think I will go now.
And if we need a quick rest,
You need to get a little shut-eye. Shut-eye is just a noun for sleep, usually a short, informal rest, like a nap. I need to grab 10 minutes of shut-eye before the meeting.
Now, for the grammar that really separates advanced learners from natives, prepositions and collocations, let's start with prepositions of location.
This is where it gets really tricky. Think about the word bed. If you are on the bed, you might be sitting on top of the covers. But if you are in the bed, it means you're under the covers, ready for sleep. That one little preposition defines your whole state of being.
And the difference between at and in for locations trips so many people up.
Yeah, so we use at for a specific point, at the front door, at a cafe. You're identifying a marker. We use in for an enclosed space, like in the kitchen, in a car, or even in a cafe if you're talking about being inside the building.
It depends on what you're emphasizing, the point or the enclosure.
Precisely.
Let's hit verb collocations, those verb-noun pairs that just sound wrong if you mix them up. The difference between make and do is vital.
Absolutely. The rule is basically creation versus execution. A teacher makes a lesson plan, they create it. The student does homework, they execute the task.
You make a decision, you do the dishes.
Exactly. Getting that verb right is a huge signal of fluency.
And we can't talk about pronunciation without the notorious silent K rule.
That initial K is always silent when it's followed by an N, and you have to know it for some very high-frequency words. We're talking about verbs like knead dough, knit a sweater, and common words like knife and know.
So the pronunciation of need is identical to need.
Identical.
Finally, let's leave the listener with a couple of high-value phrasal verbs for follow-through.
Okay, in professional contexts, you should follow up with someone. It just means you're continuing a conversation or checking on something. Socially, if you're making a quick stop on your way somewhere else, don't say, "I'll quickly go to the bank."
What should you say?
Use "to stop by" or "to swing by." I need to swing by the store on the way home. It just signals speed and convenience.
We started with the rapid pronunciation of how's it sit, and we finished by understanding why a friend might be set in their ways and why you definitely can't say my bad to your boss.
No.
This deep dive has given you not just phrases, but I think the crucial structural understanding you need for high-level American fluency.
The value here, for you the learner, is that you now have these memorable details you can use immediately. Don't wait. The next time you see a friend, try, "Long time no see, what have you been up to?"
And as we were exploring this, how these specific verbs and tiny prepositions dictate meaning, like how we make lessons but do homework, or how walking with my husband suggests partnership while walking my cat suggests you're in charge, it reveals this hidden grammatical layer. These are rules that natives never consciously think about, yet they subtly structure every single social interaction. And this raises an important question for you to consider. If these small grammatical shifts dictate control, partnership, and power in communication, how might these unseen rules, which are unique to every language, be shaping the way we subconsciously perceive social relationships and authority when we start communicating in a new tone?
Indeed. Something to keep your eyes peeled for. We'll catch you on the next deep dive.